plug my mic. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Okay, let me unplug my mic because this might not work this way. I was
Okay.
thinking I could use my mic, but then I can't hear you, so that's not gonna
Right.
work.
Right. Yeah,
Can I hear you?
I've run into
There.
that also.
Okay, I didn't know if I could use it or not. I actually wanted to use it just to block out some sound from outside.
Right. What I have
I
found out with that, you have to have a mic that also has the the earpiece. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
The
that's
micro.
probably what I need.
Yep.
So gotta put these up, and I'm gonna jump in the car camper.
All right.
I'm gonna jump in the car camper. I'm gonna turn this around the other way. See if you can see. Can you see okay in there?
Yeah, I
You
can
see,
see pretty clear.
you see Bella?
I see her.
Lou. I'm gonna try to jump. I'm gonna close this.
Got three watching.
Woo, that's bright. I don't know how.
Hello from Southern Missouri.
That's super bright.
Got five on. Hello.
Do we got people in here already? Oh
Yeah,
my
looks like we got five on. We got one like already. So
god.
we're
I got
getting somewhere.
here. I don't know how good this is gonna work. I got my backlight's about blinding me out. Jesus God. We gotta do something with that. That probably made it worse, didn't it? Can you
No,
still
you're
see?
good.
Good.
Yeah, I can see you good and clear.
There we go. Well, anyways. So what have you been up to? I got all the mosquitoes in the car. Oh my goodness, it's terrible.
Well, we just came back from a family trip with my wife, my youngest son, my in laws, and my wife's little sister. We went to Topsail Island for the week, and we done some little bit of walking there, a little bit of hiking, I guess you could call it. I hiked part of the Mountains to Sea Trail. We hiked what's the name of the bridge there? The Surf City Bridge, which is about a mile and a half, and it's like steep both ways. You remember hearing your parents talk about going to school uphill both ways. Well, it was kind of that idea. um, and we went to the a couple of museums out there around Wilmington and checked out some of the colonial houses and museums and things out there. It was really cool, pretty cool trip.
Wow.
And I've got a trip coming up in a couple of weeks to South Mountain State Park with a guy, Swamp Stalker Outdoors, and some of the 12 Stones crew. And
You got
just got a
quite a
lot.
crew.
Yeah, I
You
do.
guys go out on a lot of crazy adventures, don't you?
We try every opportunity we get.
I like some of your kayaking adventures you guys go out on.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of our kayaking trips are around the southeast. Most of those are either Uwharrie River and New River, Yadkin River, that kind of area around North Carolina and Virginia. Most of our trips.
Squirrel said he would like to go live together, but I don't know if you can actually add somebody once you start it.
I'm not real sure. This is my first time. I didn't know you could go live
This is only
together.
like my second time of doing it,
All right.
and I don't know. Oh, I'm. Oh, I think it's just share the video.
Right.
I don't know if I can share the. I'm still learning too, so
Oh yeah.
I tried
It's
to invite him earlier, but I didn't have his messenger. So in
right.
order to send a link out, I would have to either have your email or your messenger. And actually, this is actually the second time I've tried to go live together. And the first time I tried, I never could get it to work. It was in the early stages, but
Right.
now it's a little bit later down the line, and it apparently it works pretty good because I think I had I'm not sure if I had 2 people on or 1 person. I think I just had, 1 person on.
Right. I tried to go live a couple times while we were on vacation this week,
I
and
seen that. I seen that.
service was just terrible. So that
Yeah,
didn't work out very
service
well.
service is a big part.
Yeah. So let me tell you about our big giveaway we got going on.
Okay, yeah.
I am
Everybody
at
li everybody listen up for a second. 12
okay.
Stones has got a big giveaway, and I've actually shared that over on my community page, but he's gonna tell you more. So go ahead.
I, I greatly appreciate that, man. Well, for 750 subscribers, but we are currently sitting at 764, so we're actually growing a few cents. First place, we're going to be giving away a 12 Stones hat.
Yeah.
Those are real nice. You also get a 12 Stones decal. And like I said, the first place winner will get a Mora Knife Companion Spark. That's this knife here. And I'll show you my personal knife. And I carry this knife with me everywhere, whether it be a kayaking trip, backpacking trip, a car camping trip. It
And
is
that
with
that
me.
that knife right there, I like that. Is that the one that's got the striker in the
Yes,
back of it? That is so
yes.
cool. That is
So
that is
I don't know if I can
nice.
show you on camera, but I will try. This thing throws a nasty spark. Let's see how this works on camera. Could you see that?
Wow. That
I mean,
does. That's powerful.
effortless.
That'll get a fire going.
Yeah, it's pretty effortless. Andrew, my son, he's my little sidekick. He's 13 now, but he's about the size of a 17-year-old. He's sitting beside of me. He's a big kid.
Right.
But since he was about 12, he's been starting fires with this thing, and it's pretty effortless. So I'll let Andrew say hello for a moment. That's my
Hi,
little buddy
Andrew.
there.
Lower Michigan Adventures. In a car, sitting up.
Yeah, he's my little buddy. He's got better legs. He's a better hiker and a better kayaker than his dad.
So yeah, I'm kind of a little disappointed that my little mic didn't work, but that's what I need to do is what you're doing right there.
Yeah.
So you have an earpiece and that actually is connected in and you have a
Yeah, it's
microphone right
just
now.
based. This what I have is just basically a set of Apple AirPods
And
or
that's probably what
earphones.
I've done.
That's all it
The
is,
reason
just a
why I
wired.
wanted to go with that route right there or something, a microphone is to kind of like take out the back noise, like if
Right,
someone comes up in a car or something with any, thing going on
right,
in the background. So, because these mics will really just like capture pretty much what you're, saying. So,
right,
they're kind of cool with that.
right. So real quick, and I'll finish up about me. We was talking about the giveaway a minute ago. So second and third place will get a sticker, but you'll also get. I've got 3 knives I'll be giving away. These are the Mora Knife 511 Craft Line Basic. It's basically the same knife without the striker. So second place will get your choice of either red or black, and then you'll get one of the 12 Stones decals. And then third place will get whichever one second place didn't want as far as color goes.
Right.
But I've got 3 knives total, the decals, and the hat for the first place winner. And if you guys, whoever's watching, if you're interested in that giveaway, just go over on my channel, 12 Stones Adventures, and you can watch that video on instructions on how to enter that.
Right.
Back to you.
So, anyways, not a whole lot of new stuff going on. We're planning on doing a few trips this summer. We're probably going to go back down to Hocking Hills. I actually was
Okay,
invited to go down to Hocking Hills next week, but I'm kind of uh, have to work, so I got to miss out on that deal. But
I
yeah,
understand.
have you been down to Hocking Hills? Haven't you?
I never have. I've never been up that way.
Uh, it's a beautiful place to visit.
Right,
Definitely, definitely worth checking out. Got all kinds of crazy caves and trails to explore, and
right.
just a neat place. Of course, you guys got waterfalls and all kinds of stuff down where you're at.
Well, a
You don't
lot of
have to
people's.
travel that far, do you?
Well, there's a lot of waterfalls around North Carolina in general. Yes,
Right.
but I am closer to the Uwharrie National Forest. It's pretty much my backyard, my playground, I guess you'd say. A
That's a
lot of people say
playground.
they're A lot of people say there aren't any waterfalls around the Uwharrie National Forest, but there are. There are several. You just got to know where to look.
Right.
And when you've been playing in the Uwharries for almost 30 years, you kind of know all the little hot spots, and you learn all the secret camping spots, things like that. So
So what's do you go on long hikes or just short hikes?
the longest hike I have been on was the Uwharrie 4-day through hike, which is a 4-day, 40-mile through hike. And
Wow.
unfortunately, the first day I had to sit out because my wife's grandfather passed away. But I
Right.
was able to catch up with the crew that I was hiking with, and you may have heard of a few of these guys. Shane Dublin, he's a friend of mine. He has a YouTube channel called Monkeying Around.
Right.
And then Brad Moore, which is Mountains and More from Alabama, he was with us. And then another friend of mine that is associated with the Cross Paddles group here around the southeast and around North Carolina, Anthony Barber. We all hiked that 40-mile hike together. So in all, I have hiked all of the Uwharrie National Forest many times, all the trails pretty much, and the Burkhead Wilderness. With the Uwharrie through hike, like I said, I had to sit out the first day, but with that particular trip, I still hiked the 30 is like 32 miles over 3 days.
And that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's my longest.
Right.
And the thing is, with that hike, it's a real fun hike for anyone new to backpacking because little did I know when I started this, I had got my base weight down to something like 18 pounds, minus water, minus food, and that kind of thing.
Right.
But once I got into it, I realized that 90% of the hikers that were on that through hike were slack packing.
Right.
So when you get to camp, your setup, your gear, it's all been trailered, kind of waiting for you
That's
when you get
kind
to your
of the way to
campsite.
do it, is the
It
to
was it
have
was
it
so
kind of
much fun.
staged for you.
Yeah.
It's kind of the
And
way, I mean, because you can knock down some serious miles. Because if you're
yeah.
carrying a lot, it just, I mean, it drains you, but I mean, that's how most people do it. But to have everything staged for you is kind of nice too.
Yeah. That was a lot of fun. It made it to where it was more enjoyable. We could spend more time hee hawing and picking around with our friends and just
Right.
enjoying the hike instead of feeling beat down by all the weight that the pack and all that.
Right.
Some people may laugh at that, but that was probably one of my favorite adventures that I've probably ever done. That was a lot of fun. And then our family, once about every 3 years or so, we'll take a trip out to Oregon, and we usually fly into Portland, and we'll explore all over the Pacific Northwest, Washington State, Oregon State, and all over the Columbia River Gorge and that area. It's just beautiful up there. That's another one of my favorite places on earth.
We got the Kilted Adventure in, which I haven't seen him in a little bit. And thank you for your last super thanks or super chat. He actually gave us a nice donation here recently
It's awesome.
as we just crossed over the 4,000 watch hour milestone, which is it's
Congratulations.
it's challenging. It's challenging.
It
That
is. It
is,
is very
but
challenging.
it's worth it. We got Ozark Great Adventures in. We have Squirrel. I know Squirrel was trying to get in on this go live together, and me and him's going to have to get together on Facebook Messenger. So the next time we go and try to do this, I can actually send a link to Squirrel's magnet fishing and outdoors so he can actually get on this live together. I would like to do this again sometime in the future with 2 or 3 people. I think you're allowed 3 or 4 people, I'm not sure,
Okay.
but,
Yeah, I'd be happy to do it
I
again sometime.
yeah, and, actually, I think the first one I did was with, van life. I tried to do one with outdoors and things, but that never worked out because it was in the trial stage. I'm actually just scrolling down, just peeking.
Yeah, looking here in the comments, Landon Stanley, that's one of my little buddies. This past year, we actually done I called it the Backcountry Birthday Bash for my son Andrew. It was his 13th birthday, and that's one of his school buddies. They play basketball together, go to school together. So, hey,
Nice.
Landon.
Hi, Landon. and we got Ozark Great Adventures. Have you checked him out?
I have not. The Kilted Adventurer, I've watched some of his videos. Some of these names that I'm seeing in the comments, some of these
Right.
guys are new to me.
Right. Ozark Great Adventures, pretty cool YouTube creator. I'd like, everybody to kind of get to know each other. So I would recommend checking him out because he actually is kind of outdoorsy and does a lot of crazy videos and similar to your channel actually. And
Okay.
of course, we know the Kilted Adventure. He rocks.
Yeah, he's got some
He's
pretty
right
good
down in
videos.
your neighborhood, ain't he? He's close. He's not that far away.
I don't think he's that far. I don't know if he's, right down in my neck of the woods. I think
No, no,
Asheville,
but
maybe
a
up in the
lot
mountains
closer
or
than
something.
I am.
Yeah, I'm not real sure 100% on where his location is, but I think he is around the southeast somewhere.
Yeah, yeah.
Andrew
Matter of
Hagee,
fact,
that's
he
my
might just
boy.
jump in there and tell you.
Yeah. If you see Andrew Hagee there, that's my son sitting beside of me. He
Andrew.
wanted to jump on the live chat. So
So,
before we go,
anyways,
can I tell you a little bit about my channel, kind of how we got started?
yeah, please do. Let us know
So,
about your channel and how you got started. What kind of crazy content do you do? Let's let the people know.
okay. So, as far as content goes, we've got a good variety of stuff for a lot of people. I've got some gospel music on there. My wife's little sister, she is a singer songwriter, beautiful voice, plays piano beautifully. And I play guitar. There's a few of those on there with me playing guitar with her singing. And I've got some gear reviews on there. I've got quite a few of those videos. I try to do a lot of giveaways, especially when I get to like the hundreds. I've done, giveaways at 500, 600. And I do a lot of kayak camping, backpacking, hiking. We do trail maintenance. We do some car camping trips. This past Christmas, actually a few days after Christmas, we had a trip and I had 9 churches represented and I had over 20 people at this camp out. We played Dirty Santa around the campfire. We cooked over the fire, and I'm talking, it was fun. We had devotions, and
Did you guys make s'mores?
we did not.
Oh no.
A camping trip ain't a camping trip without s'mores, is
Uh,
it?
did you guys have popcorn?
No, we did not.
What snacks did you guys have?
Well, we had steaks, we had chicken, we had
You
pork
had me at
chops,
hello.
we had deer backstrap. We go all out. For breakfast, we had bacon and eggs and sausage and you name it. I mean, it was there. And usually, the way it all works out is everybody brings enough to feed themselves and whoever's with them, and then everybody just it's a big smorgasbord and like a
Right.
buffet. You just cook all this food and get what you want and just have yourself a good time, pretty much. But as far as how the channel got started, me and my brother-in-law, we have been exploring and hunting around the UR National Forest and hiking since I was probably 18 years old. And I just turned 45, so I've got quite a few years of outdoor things under my belt. I grew up a city guy. I was a city slicker. I never, we done a lot of fishing growing up, but as far as the kind of thing I do now, this was all new to me at about 18, 19 years of age. So the year my mom died in '07, we decided to take a trip, which was just pretty much a getaway to clear our mind. We took a trip out to Washington State and flew into, like I said, Portland, Oregon. We explored all around the Pacific Northwest, Mount Rainier, Mount St. Helens, the Columbia River Gorge, just all those beautiful areas out there. And at this particular time, my mother-in-law, her dad was fixing to pass away, so she had to tie a lot of loose ends together with his estate also. So at this particular time, I fell in love with hiking and the outdoors, and it was just overnight. I mean, I fell in love with it. So fast forward to about 10 years ago, we started going to a local church here in Thomasville, North Carolina, and I got to be friends with a group of guys. There's about 4 or 5 of us. We all went to the same local church together and served in that local church together in different ministries within that church.
Right.
So we got the idea. They would go to camp out once a year. and then we'd get to talking about it, and we'd instigate a couple camping trips a year, and then it got to be 3 camping trips a year, and then we all wanted to get into kayaking, and it just one thing led to another,
You had some
and
pretty big kayaking shindigs too.
yeah,
Seen some of them videos.
yeah. So the way actually that in that 10-year period, I'm gonna rewind a little bit. The way I met a good friend of mine, Josh Kepley, we kind of met by mistake. And my wife's little sister was invited to sing at a revival meeting on a Friday night. So after the service, he asked me, he said, "Can we swap numbers? And I want to give you my testimony and tell you how, I acquired this guy had like a multi-$1,000 Gibson Red acoustic guitar that I played that night. And man, that thing was nice. But he wanted to tell me how he acquired that guitar and, talk and just, shoot the breeze together. So 6 months go by. I never heard from the guy. Well, he calls me by mistake. I think it was on a Friday afternoon after I got home from work. And man, we talked on the phone for probably an hour and a half. And man, we cried and we shared testimonies and we talked fishing and we talked camping. We talked about our families. And it was just like that. There was a yoke that God had placed together. And that was the beginning of, that was the initial friendship that later became 12 Stones Adventures. So fast forward a few years, a few of those camping trips later, and I had got to be friends with Shane Dublin. He is camping and paddle sports specialist over at Rock Outdoors. And like I said, he also has a YouTube channel called Monkeying Around. And I'd been watching him and friends like the River Kings for several years. And he called me one day. He's like, man, he said, as much stuff as you guys do outdoors, camping, hiking, and that kind of thing, you ought to consider starting a YouTube channel. So I thought about it and I prayed about it and I, sought the Lord about it for probably a good year. And then I came up with this idea with 12 Stones Adventures. I wanted something that had an outdoorsy sound that still had a good biblical meaning and still represented, as far as the core of who we are. We're a Christian based group here in North Carolina. And in my logo here, I'll explain to you what this means and why. This goes right back to the meaning of the channel itself. So right here in the word adventure, I have replaced that letter E with the number 3.
Right.
Well, that represents 3 things. That's the blood of Jesus Christ, the color red, the Holy Trinity, and that also represents that in every adventure that we have, whether it be a kayak camping trip, a simple day hike, whatever it may be, we always pray. And if it's an overnight trip or something like that, we'll find someone to do a devotion, or Josh, he may preach a message around the campfire. And we always find time in that adventure to give God his time because that's how we began. And we
Right.
choose to continue that through our content and through our videos and our adventures. And in all my videos, you'll never see any cussing, any foul language, any
I know.
nudity, any.
I try to be very careful when I drop any comments, or because I know you're very religious,
I do
and
appreciate
there's
that.
yeah, and I understand. I
I,
understand what you're saying.
that is greatly appreciated.
I
Like I said,
really
you'll
respect it.
you'll never hear any rock music. You'll never see any alcohol. You'll never see anything because we
That's why
believe in.
when you see me say comment, when I comment and I say cheers, I've been trying to use the little coffee cup. I mean, I've made that mistake before, but I understand what you're saying. So that's why when I say
I do
cheers, I use
appreciate
the
that.
coffee cup.
Yeah,
I,
respect means a lot. Who? Oh yeah. Let me give a quick shout out to Sophia Fields. She's a fan of mine. She's another friend of Andrew's that goes to school together, and she has been bugging me for the longest time. You need to give me a shout out in a video or on your YouTube channel. So here it is. Hey Sophia.
is she on? Is she on right now, or are you gonna share it later?
I'll share it later, but I don't see her
Oh,
right now. I think he may be texting her actually right now as we speak.
get on there. I kind of covered up Bella right now because for some reason my backlight, the mosquitoes. are outrageous, and she hasn't had her I'm supposed to get her in for her heartworm shot
Right.
because I normally get it. She has one that every so often, and she's due to have it done, but we got mosquitoes bad. You gotta look at this.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, look at that.
Have you tried the, I know everyone's probably
Well, it's just
heard of the
because we
Thermacell.
right. It's just because I had to pick up and move and come to a different location, and I'm actually just outside the car is a little river that goes by, and I've got this light on and it's pulling all the mosquitoes inside the car. So I'm trying
Right.
to cover her up and try to keep her safe from the mosquitoes.
Well, I mean, just a suggestion, if you had a Thermacell, you could crack your windows and
Right.
the,
I
uh, the
know.
therm the Thermacell, the actual, yeah, there you go. Light that and crack your windows, and I think it would probably actually drive the mosquitoes out. Just a
Now
suggestion
I've got
there.
to figure out where my lighter's at.
But
Of
yeah,
course, I
Thermacell
probably
is a great Thermacell is a great tool for that I use that I carry on a lot of my trips. And Flextail has another piece of gear that's and I don't know right off the top of my head the name of the piece of gear, but they've got a nice new mosquito repellent device, and it's tiny, and it's like $40. But I'm real interested in those. I may pick up one of those pretty soon.
I think the last time I got my lighter out of here because I was using it for something. I got my
But
little cook kitchen and I got everything here, but oh wait a minute. Wait a minute. I
there we
found
go.
one.
Thanks, Ozark Great Adventures. He just subscribed to my channel. I'll give him a thank you.
Yeah, he's Ozark Great Adventures. His channel is booming. It's growing so quick.
I'll have
He
to go
took a
check him
little
out.
he took a little quick break and now he's back. He's back and he's better than ever.
Right.
He makes some really good stuff. And I like watching like other great creators like you, Ozark Great Adventures, and so many other great YouTubers because actually I learned so much from all you guys. You all
Oh
have
yeah, absolutely,
so much to offer, you know,
absolutely.
and I hope
So I've got several trips that's kind of on the back burner from I am so far behind with my videos. I've got stuff from 2 years ago. But I've got a real good kayak camping trip from the New River. Me and three other boys did this past summer. I've got a overnight backpacking trip in the Burkhead Wilderness. I've got that video coming up pretty soon. And then this year, like I said, we've got a video. Well, it's not even been produced yet, but we're going to South Mountain State Park in a few weeks, and we're going to hike to High Shoals Falls there on Saturday. And later in the year, I plan on doing a kayak camping trip over to Lake James. Excuse me.
I'm going to be the one coughing here in a minute.
But I plan on doing a kayak camping trip over to Lake James, and there's a peninsula there that it's boat access only. So I think that'll be a good late summer trip when the temperatures start to drop a little bit at night, and probably do some fishing there. That'll be a real fun trip. So that's in the future. Excuse me. And if you've ever heard of Gone Feral with Squidly, and I know everybody
Yes.
knows As the Crow Flies Hiking, they're real good friends of mine. And I don't know when, but sometime I plan on getting up with those guys. Metro on the Move, he's another good friend of mine. And I plan on going out that way, maybe spending the night in the Sipsey Wilderness, but I don't know when that'll be. That's been on the back burner. That's been on mine for a while now. So just
That'll
give you
be
an
a nice
idea.
adventure.
Yep. Just kind of give you an idea of some of the trips. And we've been planning on those guys. We've been planning on trying to get together for a couple of years now. We just hadn't had just the right timing and the right trip to, allow us to cross paths. But that
Right.
is something that may be in the works in the near future.
Bells. We're not used to staying up so late. Belle's already tired out. It's been a long day for her. We actually went out filming today, and
Okay.
like I did a little live before my premiere, and then we got up early this morning, went out do some filming in the rain, so she's kind of wore out.
That's always fun. So Landon, my son Andrew's little buddy, he wanted to know, and I'll let you if you want to jump on this because you're actually doing it as we speak. But he was asking what the difference was between car camping instead of camping in a hammock or in a tent. So if you want
Well, here's the thing with car camping. When you're car camping, you're actually kind of a little bit more safe from the predators outdoors. So, like if you
to,
go up
right,
into the forest, now I actually did a video with a friend, and he had a minivan, and we went out into the forest. Now, I'm not afraid of bears or anything like that. Of course, I don't want a conflict, but you're actually are more safer inside of a vehicle camping than being out in a tent. But of course, I do like the tent too. But it's more convenient. You don't have the, set up and tear down. There really is not a whole lot of setup with this unless you do the expansion that I did with this and put a little tent outside for more uh, space to cook and have your bed
right,
inside and stuff like that. But you can easily pack up and go just boom like that with a car camper where tent you got that tear down and all that kind of stuff. So
right,
I don't know. The car camper idea is it's fun. It's and you just feel more a little bit more safe in some areas that you know because I just watched a video where somebody was doing a little adventure and they had coyotes coming up on them. And I mean, I'm not afraid of that, but some people, you know, it might bother. What are
right.
they saying in the comments?
Right. I was talking to a friend of mine who's one of the newest members of 12 Stones, and they actually went up to the Linville Gorge this past year, and they ended up leaving because they got run out. They were there in their camp, and I guess they had got up in their hammocks and their tents and ready for bed. And the next thing you know, there's half a dozen coyotes surrounding around their camp area. So they got spooked and they got up and left.
Yeah, Ozark
Which
Great
I
Adventure.
really don't I really
Ozark
don't
Great
blame them.
Ozark Great Adventure says car camping seems okay till little Bella goes crazy when the car alarm goes off. Well, on our last little adventure, we were actually camping and we decided to crash out because it's late. Because I normally get up at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I normally stay up this late. So
Right.
I, that's why a lot of my camps you don't see me because I'm normally crashing out at 6, 7 o'clock before it's even dark most of the time.
Oh wow.
Guys, because 5 days a week I'm up at 3 a.m. every day. So, but
Right.
anyways, on our last little car camping adventure, we crashed out, just got all nice and sleeping good, and somebody comes up in some four-wheel drive vehicle or something, and Bella starts barking right away. I get a little bit of a headlight, and she scared me, and I went and opened the door, and the alarm went off, and boom, they were gone. But so sometimes even in a car, it might not even be like animals, but it might be just like people coming up at all hours of the night when you're camping in these crazy
Yeah.
locations
In
and just
that condition, you'd be safer in a car.
well, yeah, that too. But I set the alarm off. That's what he was talking about. So anyway, sorry for just distracting you. What were you saying?
No, no, I was just listening. That's
Uh,
pretty funny story there. Now, does she have problems creating Dutch ovens in tight spaces there?
no, she's just cuddling. She's sleeping. Just trying to keep the mosquitoes off of her.
I got you.
She's sleeping. No, you tired, ain't you?
Now
She
our little dog Hope, I used to take her on a lot of hiking trips when she was younger.
yeah.
But Lord, she is so pampered and so rotten and spoiled. She loves to get out. Don't get me wrong, but she stays with mom most of the time. She's
Well, last year we were doing a lot more hiking, and
right,
it's kind of early in the season right now, and I need to start getting back out and start doing more regular hikes with her and stuff like what we were doing before.
right.
Year 5, nearly 12.
Near
Okay.
12 and Andrew.
Yeah.
I think he
I
was
just
asking if Landon is live and near me and Andrew. Yeah,
oh,
Landon, he's one of Andrew's little buddies he goes to school with. We're pretty close.
so anyways, this thing is not deterring these little
It's not helping any.
not helping any. The light
Yeah.
is just pulling them in like a magnet.
Yeah, you need to invest in a thermocell. And they make those in 3 or 4 different variations. They actually make a lantern that is and I like multi use items. They make a lantern that's actually a lantern and a thermocell, and then they have the original little green thermocell, and then they've got one that is USB rechargeable that's made more for like backpackers. So they've got
Yeah,
several different variations.
I've got a little lantern that lights up, and it has that's a rechargeable one, but I left it at the house, and it has a bug zapper in
Yep. Yeah,
it.
those are
So I
pretty
know what you're
nice.
saying.
Yep.
So when you got a car camper like this, you can put quite a bit of stuff in there, but then you got to also be picky and choosy too, because my spare front seat is got all kinds of stuff. It's packed. I've got stuff for starting a little fire and having my little burner, and I didn't pick the right location tonight. I moved around a couple different
I
times,
got you.
so
The last time I remember doing an actual car camping, where when I think of car camping, I'm thinking, you arrive on a site, you're basically unloading all of your gear right out of the back of the car and you're setting up camp. But as far as actually being in a car camping, last time I remember doing that, me and my oldest son Brian, he's 25, he's married now, and we've actually got 2 grandkids. One that is under 2 years, and the other one she's about 7 or 8 months now. But the last time that I done that was with me and him, and I guess he was probably, I would say, 16 years old maybe, and we had camped down at Falls Reservoirs with some of the guys who are 12 stones now, and we didn't have a lot of gear. We had just started camping, so everything we had was like Walmart stuff. It was just, we had just a basic sleeping bag and just basic stuff. And we stayed in our Forerunner that night. And man, I'm gonna tell you, I froze to death. And those guys, of course, they're over there in their tents and their warm sleeping bags, and they had a fire going over there. And we go run to the Forerunner and sleep in it, and it was miserable.
yeah. Yeah, if you ain't got the right setup inside your car camper, it's like you might as well be inside an ice box.
Yep,
I mean,
it
you got
gets
to have
colder.
the proper, sleeping pad that's insulated. You got to have a good sleeping bag. Otherwise, you're like in an ice box, especially
Yep,
like right now inside this car camper, it's like 65 because this backlight puts out all kinds of heat. I got body temperature, but Bo's got body temperature. We got this little candle going. It's like 65, and I guarantee you outside right now, it ain't more than maybe 45.
right.
Yeah, it's about 20 degrees cooler outside right now.
Yeah, well, we're having a pretty good warm up here in North Carolina right now. It was like 75 degrees today. I mean, it was just gorgeous. But along with that, with the spring comes allergies and pollen, and I'm one of those where my nose and my eyes, they just go crazy this time of year. So spring's not really one of my favorite times of the year. I like it when it starts to cool back off, and the nights are starting to get cooler. You don't have to deal with spiders and snakes and all that kind of thing when you're
Right.
hiking through the woods.
You
That's
got a lot of crazy snakes down there too, don't you?
Well, honestly, no. We've got I'd say probably here in the exact area where I live, there are like 3 or 4 venomous snakes that we have here. We've got copperheads, and of course they're everywhere. We've got the rattlesnakes. We've got what's called a pygmy rattler, and it is just a really short variation of a timber rattler, pretty much. It's just they're a whole lot shorter, a whole lot smaller, and not here where I live, but like in some of the coastal areas and further up in the mountains, and then down south of us, you have the cottonmouths. So basically, right here in the area where I live in the Triad, the Piedmont area, North Carolina, mostly everything we have around here is just the copperhead and rattlesnakes.
Right.
Other than that, we really don't have anything to worry about much here. Rattlesnakes are pretty, what you say, docile. They pretty much they'll leave you alone. If you leave them alone, they'll leave you alone. Now,
Right.
copperheads, on the other hand, they are just possessed with the devil. They're mean enough where they'll haul off and pop you, and before you ever even realize they're there. So those around here, you definitely have to watch for, and they blend in real well with the leaves and like the tree bark and things like that. A lot of times you can't even see them until you're right up on them.
Right. How to get a little bit more comfortable. That's 65, 66 with heated vest on, even though it's not on. I'm also wearing this hoodie and I'm wearing
Right.
two thermals because I was actually dressed to be outside hanging out today. And I'm now, for being inside the car camper where it's actually warming up quite a bit, I actually got the. So it's 66 degrees in here
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, it's a lot cooler up there. You deal with a cooler climate than what we do here in North Carolina, up there where
Right.
you are.
So Ozark Great Adventures said something about he really enjoys winter more than he does the summer. The winter months is something that he really looks forward to.
Absolutely.
He's actually down in, is it Branson, Missouri area?
Okay.
So,
Okay.
and winter is his favorite time of the year to do camping.
Absolutely.
I actually this year I kind of was a little bit disappointed with myself with wintertime camping. I got kind of under the weather. I mean, I felt like I had like a little bit of seasonal depression with
Hmm.
the change of the winter time, and I also set some goals for New Year's resolutions to better
Right.
myself in different ways, and so I
Right.
kind of a little bit under the weather. So I didn't do as much winter camping. I didn't do very much at all winter camping, and I'm kind of disappointed about that. And winter's over, but I also work in a freezer, and it's cold
Ah.
all the time. And when you start working long days, it really takes a drain on you. If that's where you spend all your extra time at is inside of a freezer, it starts taking a toll on you after a while because it's
Oh wow.
I mean, you don't it's they don't have windows unless you go to break, and it's, just the regular lighting, and so a little bit of seasonal depression along with being cold with long hours at work kind of had me
That
under the
sounds rough.
yeah. So that's not always roses up here in the cold.
I understand. So I work outside myself, so I see the outdoors all the time.
Right.
I'm always out in the elements. I work for the Power Line Company in High Point, North Carolina.
You do what now?
Work for the Power Line Company.
Oh, you got a good job.
I do. I do.
You are you're a
Good
lineman.
career. Well, I started out as a lineman. When people say lineman, they think bucket trucks and climbing poles and all that kind of thing.
Right.
Well, when I started back when I was 17, see, I quit school at 17 and I decided that I wanted to pursue that as a career. So, fast forward until the year 2000, 2003, I got on with the city of High Point, and at that point, I started doing underground power line work. So we put in like subdivisions and install subduct and put residential services in and work on lights and that kind of thing. So from 2003 until now, I haven't really done much climbing. so to speak. I've done a little bit of bucket work here and there when need be, but most of my work is, like I said, installing pipe, subdivisions, operating a track co. Just all whatever comes our way. We troubleshoot things, and I take 24-hour call, and I get calls, through the night to go out and check people's breakers and repair their services, and whatever it need be.
Better get these mics out. I don't want to lose them. These are expensive.
Oh yeah, my son had just notified me that another one of our little buddies, Jimmy, I call him Jimmy Dean. He was asking if I would give him a shout out and say hello on here. So hey,
Go
Jimmy.
right ahead.
That's another trip I'll have coming up soon. A video that's up and coming. We done went down to the Okanichi Speedway, which is at one point in time it was the very first NASCAR dirt track race. Which now, fast forward ever how many years it's been. I think this was back in the early '50s, late '40s, early '50s when it was there as a racetrack. Some people found this place and it was all growed up and dilapidated, and they decided to clean it up, and now it's a hiking trail / nature preserve. So yeah, Jimmy went with us on that day. That was back in, I guess, the first week of February, and it was like 20 degrees here that morning, so that was a real cold hike. But yeah, Jimmy went with us on that trip. That was a fun trip.
So, Jake Hudson just jumped in and he said, "Hello, everyone."
Hello.
And he just shared out the video. So,
Okay. Appreciate that.
make some more friends. Let's see. Ozark, Great Adventures. What did he say? He said something about, "I've slowed down a little now, but next weekend I hope to camp with my son for my birthday and the next weekend with M and Mike." Oh yeah.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool. I like to try to keep up with the chat. I'm gonna get out and stretch my
Yeah, I
legs.
try to when I can. It's kind of hard at times to keep up with keeping your train of thought and what you want to say, and
Right.
the discussion that we're having between each other, and before you know it, 10 comments have gone by, and it's like you're worrying that you missed somebody.
I'm listening to you. I'm just stretching for a second.
All right, Daniel Leonard, I don't know him. You may know this guy. He just popped on and said hello. Appreciate you watching. Jake Hudson liked and shared. Appreciate that. I'm gonna look back through some of these comments. I see my boy, him and Landon, they're burning up the chat. Ozark Great Adventures. Winter is my favorite camping time. I think he mentioned that a while ago. Some of you that are still on, what's your favorite time of the year to camp and why? Me personally, I like the fall of the year between the time that the overnight lows, start to dip into the
Woo.
mid upper 30s, and in the beginning of the year, I guess around March when we're kind of coming out of that phase. I like to be able to curl up in my hammock at night and pull that quilt up and get all warm and cozy, and uh, just I love sleeping in a hammock, and those quilts are so comfortable, and that makes a big difference in being comfortable at camp and making camp enjoyable is having the right gear. So my favorite time is definitely fall and winter, and up until I guess March when we still have those cold nights.
Gotta walk you down to where the water is in the little bridge because we're not too far. And
Okay.
I'm carrying my little backlight with my Jackery. See how high the water level is.
Hey Hayden, Daniel. These are some kids that Landon knows. Hayden and Daniel. Hey, you guys.
So that's why we got so many mosquitoes. We ain't too far from the water and the river.
Yeah.
And we got a little bit of light rain going on.
Okay.
Light misty rain. Misty stuff.
That's usually when I sleep the best.
So we got 8 people watching,
Still
12
got 8 on.
likes.
Right. We still got 8 on.
8 on, 12 likes, and 1 share.
Okay.
So that's not too bad. We
Not
probably
too
had
bad.
about 60 people in here by now, I'm sure. Maybe
Yeah.
more.
Well, I hope I didn't scare them away.
I probably scared them away. Bella scared them away. Lou, you scared them away. Look at the mosquitoes. Lou, don't itch. You're making me itch.
Any of you guys that are still on in the live chat, got any questions or anything for me or Jamie that you'd like to ask?
Yeah. I'm going to try to shut this back up and get back in.
If you do, feel free to chime in at any time. Jamie, Ozark's Great Adventures, he wants to know how your wife's doing. He said he didn't see much of her lately in your videos.
Well, with the wife right now, she's doing really good, except she don't care for the cold weather. So she won't go out in this rainy, dreary 40, 30, 20 degree days or none of that. And that's probably why nobody's really seen her in any videos, because she doesn't like camping this time of the year. She don't like really getting out to do very many hikes this time of the year, because she's awful skinny. She's thin. So the temperature,
that's understandable.
the temperature, this time of the year is the time of the year that she works extra and stuff, because she doesn't enjoy being out in the cold when she's super thin. So
I see Random Adventures 2.0. He popped on. Appreciate you watching. I've watched quite a few
I
of his
chit
videos.
chatted with him the other day, and he had a lot of good stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
I had some questions about monetization and different things, and he pretty much squared me away on what I needed to know. So,
okay.
I actually reached out to him on Messenger. He's one of my friends, and I share on his Facebook and jump in on his live streams or some of his different crazy stealth camps. And
he has some crazy ones.
Yeah, he does. He has some crazy ones. It's all about entertainment. Nobody's really trying to do anything bad. It's all entertainment. This stealth camping stuff, most of it is, at least my perspective.
Right.
I'm gonna try to turn this back around. Where are we at? Okay, I'm gonna try to get back in here.
Is his name Tony? Is that right? Random Adventures 2.0. I'm thinking Tony. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey Tony, I've checked out quite a few of your crazy adventures. I like that backpack that you carry a lot. I've actually got one just like it, the Osprey Stratus 36, I believe it is. That's a very good pack. That's actually the pack that I use on a lot of my trips.
There we go. If I can get back in there.
Make sure you make Bella good and comfortable.
Bella, you're taking up the whole camera.
Tony 2.0.
Sometimes in such a tight spot, you got to get out and do a little leg stretch for a minute.
Right.
If I wasn't on a live, I would just lay down and chill out, because it's just. I mean, I like doing this, but you got to give your legs a break. Especially old guy.
Yeah, the older you get, the worse it gets. I am coming to find that out.
I don't want to think that I can't do this because I can do it. I gotta do it responsibly.
Right.
You know,
Yeah. Just responding to Tony's comment, he said he really loves the Osprey packs. So I bought Andrew a day pack, the Osprey Daylight Plus, I believe it's called, and it's like a 20-liter pack.
this is
And I
terrible.
actually used it one time, and after using it one time, I decided to go buy one myself. I loved it so much, and that was where I initially kind of fell in love with Osprey packs. And since I've bought several to give away as like birthday presents and for my friends and things like that, and I actually own between me and him, I think we've got 3 or 4 Osprey packs. Uh, I think those are probably the best. Osprey. The thing about Osprey with their packs, if I sell Jamie a pack and Jamie uses that pack for 3 or 4 months and develops a tear, if they can't fix it, it doesn't matter if that pack is 25 years old. They will either replace it with a like model or they will repair it, either or. If they
I
can't
had two.
repair,
Go ahead.
Yep, they can't repair it. They'll give you a brand new one. There's no
That's true.
question.
I
So
actually had two of them, and I sold one to my buddy because, and actually gave one to Off Grid Adventures. I actually had three of them to be honest.
yeah,
So, uh, anyways, I gave one to my other, or gave one to Off Grid Adventures, and I also gave one to my other buddy. I sold it to him, and so yeah, that's the thing about those is they're warranted forever basically.
unbeatable.
As long as the company doesn't go out of business, you got a warranty and they stand
Yeah,
behind them because the one backpack did end up getting a small tear in it and ended up getting replaced or fixed.
right.
I can't remember what it
And
was.
the good thing, the good thing about it is it's not one of these deals where you have to have the original purchase receipt like some companies demand you have to have. It's just word of mouth, and it's just their packs. They know that it's their pack because it has their brand on it, and it doesn't matter what's wrong with it. If they can't fix it, they'll replace it, no questions asked.
They stand behind their stuff 100%. And another thing I like about a lot of the ultralight ospreys is they last. I mean, you can fill them up and hike with them. And the one that my one buddy got, I had that for a couple 3 years and hiked and put hundreds of miles on it, and
Right,
it was still in really good shape. I mean, it's got several years to go, I would say, and if it does end up failing, they'll replace it or fix it, like you said,
right,
replace it or
right.
fix.
Yeah, I was reading Tony's comment here. He said he had a zipper that was broke, and he took it back to REI where he bought it. That was a year later, and they replaced it. 551. I'm not sure exactly what that is. 55 liter. Okay, that was a 55 liter. And yeah, they are big on their warranty. That's the big thing with those guys. That's why anyone asks me that's new to backpacking or hiking or whatever that wants to know, what kind of pack should I buy? That's my first name that I give them always, and it's for that very reason.
Yeah, that's my big hiking bag is the Osprey.
And
That's the one I use.
comfort is a big thing with the Osprey too. The way those packs were built, with the Osprey, the Stratus that I have, the 36, same one that Tony uses in a lot of his videos. This thing's got like a gap this far between the mesh and the main body of the pack, to where you've got constant airflow
Right.
between
So
that
you're not
pack and your
sweating.
back. And it's
Yeah.
springy like
Yeah.
trampoline material almost.
Right.
So it never, the pack never touches your back, no matter how much weight you put in it.
Right.
Um, and and what that
It's almost like it's not there.
Right, and what that does is that keeps you from sweating so much and having a wet backside. If
Right.
anybody's ever carried a pack and had it loaded down and you go to take it off and whoa, my whole back is just soaking wet.
Drenched.
Yeah,
Yeah. A
that
lot
eliminates a lot of
of
that.
the cheaper packs don't have that,
No, they
the
do not.
port. And that's what kind of separates them too.
Right.
Ooh, I gotta blow that out. Bo's up here sleeping. Luke. Oh, you're not sleeping. I thought you were sleeping.
Yeah, it's getting about time for me and Andrew to do the same. I've actually got to cut his hair before we go to bed tonight,
Yeah.
and
Well, I
we got
appreciate
church
you. I
tomorrow, and
appreciate you jumping on here with me. I mean, because I
absolutely.
sent a few different invites out, and
Okay.
hopefully you get some new friends from this, and your giveaway goes really good, and you just keep making crazy adventures that everybody loves.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you joining us, and hopefully next time we can try this again, and maybe we can get a couple more people up here.
Okay, sounds good, man.
All right. Thanks for
I
joining us with this nice little get together live, and we'll catch you at the next one. What do you
All
got
right,
to
buddy.
say?
Be
All right.
blessed. Thank you.
Be blessed. See
Yes,
y'all
sir.
later. Thanks for
Later.
watching. Of course, I got. Okay. See you. Cut.